The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Mark. Jesus went to the district of Tyre. He entered a house and wanted no one to know about it, but he could not escape notice. Soon a woman whose daughter had an unclean spirit heard about him. She came and fell at his feet. The woman was a Greek, a Syro-Phoenician by birth, and she begged him to drive the demon out of her daughter. He said to her, "Let the children be fed first, for it is not right to take the food of the children and throw it to the dogs." She replied and said to him, "Lord, even the dogs under the table eat the children's scraps." Then he said to her, "For saying this, you may go. The demon has gone out of your daughter." When the woman went home, she found the child lying in bed and the demon gone. The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord.
We just kind of heard of one of the more tragic stories and probably all of human history from Solomon, our first reading from the book of Kings. So here, Solomon was blessed with wisdom beyond all telling, but it eventually fell short. He had some flaws. The man was not perfect, and he had many wives, and he also had married foreign wives. And so what that ended up happening is his heart became divided, and he started to build chapels, whatever, to these foreign gods of his foreign wives. And so it says things like his heart was divided because, the Lord became angry with Solomon because his heart had turned away from the Lord. And really, it was through those relationships, at least indirectly, that's where that, spiritual affair came from, and he started to sacrifice to these foreign gods, and another demise of Israel in our own salvation history. So we've got that whole saga going on, and then today we have the gospel. And in light of that first reading, we kind of look at how this woman, who was not an Israelite, she was Greek, and she came to Jesus and begged the Lord to heal her daughter. And Jesus kind of puts up this strong front first. Hey, let the children be fed first. And then she says to him, she says, "Lord, even the dogs under the table eat the children's scraps." She says, "Lord." She calls him God, She comes to faith in Christ, in a sense. And through that, he heals her. So I just this reminds me of the dynamic that, with all due respect, like the strength that spouses have, the pull that spouses have upon one another, that they can kind of lead them towards Christ or away from Christ, the fullness of Christianity or away from the fullness of Christianity. So the norm is Catholics marry Catholics. And if that, and for good reason, is that how it's said, then there can be permission granted for a Catholic to marry a baptized non-Catholic Christian or even a non-baptized person. But with that always comes the caveat of the responsibility. Yeah, I do affirm my faith in Jesus Christ. I do promise to practice my Catholic faith and raise our children Catholic to the best of my ability. That I affirm that. But as anyone can testify that's been in those shoes, that's not necessarily easy waters to navigate when you're not heading in that same focused direction. And so there is caution there. I just throw that out. It's just the wisdom of the church. But it can, for right reason and stuff, that they can still work together in that common goal of seeking the Lord. But if that one's not there, it makes it really tough. If we're not at least seeking the Lord, it makes it really tough. And so there is due caution in that regard. I just kind of highlight that. It's more of my own personal musings, I guess. But it does speak to the wisdom of the church of holding that standard that, Catholics marry Catholics, Christians marry Christians, and deviations from that should be done only with a real understanding of what that future looks like, things like that. So, because spouses can lead us to Christ or they can lead us away from Christ. That goes with everything, but we just want to be on our game when it comes to that our heart can always be focused wholeheartedly on the Lord. And then anything that comes into that realm, including a spouse, complements that relationship. If not, it's going to get troubling. So we listen to the church, we listen to the Lord, and we continually always dedicate our entire heart to the Lord.